Well, okay, obviously, everyone, we are talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. What the fuck were you just doing there, Nico?
I was pulling up my pant leg because it was like riding up me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Rogue One, Star Wars. I mean, yes, it's weird, in my opinion, to call it a prequel since it leads so directly into Episode 4. But you are correct in calling it a prequel. But it's not a prequel in the same way that the prequels are prequels.
This seems like some strange semantics you're pulling right now, Tanner, and I don't like it very much.
Fair
Star
enough.
Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is the tale of Jyn Erso, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's a cutie, alright? She's a baddie if I ever saw one.
I did write right up front, Nico, can I get a review of our main character?
She's a baddie, also not a very interesting character. I find her very boring. However... her main goal in this film is to hunt down her father's plans for the Death Star so that they can blow that bad boy up. And they go on a wacky sort of little adventure. It's not really a big adventure movie at all.
And it's not very wacky.
They have a hentai monster in it. It's basically just D-Day if it's Star Wars. So...
I got one quick question. Jackson, how many Star Warses have you seen?
The new ones.
Okay.
So the new trilogy and this one, I guess. I don't know. 4. I've never seen a single one of the older ones.
That's kind of cool. At some point we'll get to show you episode 4, and you'll get to see how this one connects with that one, which is cool. So
yeah, like most old movies that are famous, I've seen bits and pieces of them.
Right.
So, yeah. I've got like a general idea, but yeah, nothing.
But our patron chose this movie. Our patron,
Smooth McGroove or some shit?
No. His name was like a gaping, hot, cum-filled boy pussy or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Augustus Gloop makes me want to poop.
Yeah, something like that. And, it's very fortuitous, because this is actually my favorite Star Wars movie.
That's crazy!
Mm-hmm. And,
why?
something I think this movie, it does what the prequels and sequels couldn't, where it really captures the spirit of Star Wars while not necessarily modernizing it, but polishing it, I'll say. And I just think this movie does a lot of cool things and introduces a lot of new stuff to the universe that isn't confusing. It's new stuff that fits in with what we already knew.
Like what?
Well, a big thing for me is I like that we get to see what, the rebellion is really doing most of the time, which is, this guerrilla insurgent warfare. Because I think a lot of the time the rebels, they kind of feel just like a legit, actual army fighting the Empire most of the time. Yeah. This made them feel a lot more small and scrappy.
Which I hear something similarly along those lines. That new Andor show that they have going, that also definitely sort of gives you that sort of feel of what it's actually like to be living under the Empire, which is something that we generally don't see in the Star Wars films.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because it's a spin-off of this movie.
Potentially. Who's to say?
Yeah, who is to say?
Speaking of which, our main character lady, she's also traveling around with a big old Andor boy, as well as a big robot, who is the only form of comic relief in the film. They go to a big old planet to stop the Death Star, okay? And they don't. They die in the end of the movie.
Yeah. They kind of stop it, but like we know they stop it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Summary out of the way. Now let's continue.
Okay. I found it interesting. They had some scenes where the stormtrooper armor was actually being armor.
Kind of.
Yeah, they had a couple of people that got shot and it didn't kill them,
Yeah, but they also had people just fucking fighting them in hand-to-hand combat or whatever and still being knocked the fuck out.
That's always in Star Wars, though,
That was one complaint fucking Dylan had with this movie that I do think is pretty valid. What the fuck is the armor for? It seems like it doesn't do anything.
That's literally a complaint with every Star Wars movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. It's factual, but,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it seems like you're more likely to survive being shot with a laser gun if you're not in armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Our fucking main villain, he gets shot 3 times and lives. Not all at once, mind. He gets shot like 3 separate times, and he lives through all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys on the fucking beach, too, in that, like, you know, that scene. He got shot, like, 3 times or something. I never even saw one of the fucking holes on him. He was getting shot.
I would say he had what looked like pretty substantial armor. He had that big front plate thing.
Speaking of bad guys, by the way.
Okay.
There's the very obvious elephant in the room here. The obvious CGI elephant in the room.
He doesn't look that bad.
He definitely fucking stands out. He looks like he's right off of the Polar Express, man.
Okay, shut the fuck up. He does not look Polar Express.
Look, Tanner, when are you gonna learn that whenever I make these comparisons, they're hyperbole, man? I'm just trying to have a gaff at the film's expense.
Just having a gaff, dude. I don't know. We don't need the gaffs because that was the big complaint of the movie when it came out, and like people are overselling it.
Honestly, when I saw this movie the first time, I didn't notice.
Exactly.
It was only on the rewatch.
I didn't even fucking notice until you guys pointed it out, to be completely honest.
I think it's definitely possible people catch it with Princess Leia. Something about the way her mouth is like statically moving around after she speaks really gives away that she's like a deepfake. I think Grand Moff Tarkin, they more or less pulled off.
Yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin was pretty decent. But guys, what about Darth Vader? That was one thing that I noticed. So I remembered Darth Vader's fucking sweet action scene at the very end of this film, where they actually make him the super imposing, terrifying threat. Mm-hmm. But I completely forgot how fucking cheap his costume looks throughout the rest of the movie. It looks like they got out for like a fucking Halloween store or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
So I remember reading somewhere that a bunch of the buttons on his like thing are just wrong. Like, they don't match the original movie.
That's fun. I don't know what was up with that, though. However, guys, do you guys like Star Wars at all? You remember Star Wars?
Star Wars is okay.
I've never seen Star Wars.
Do you guys remember R2-D2 and C-3PO? They were in this movie. That was pretty cool, right?
C-3PO?
Yeah, C-3PO. He's in this movie. He's pretty cool, right? You guys like
They
Star
were
Wars?
in this movie. They were in it for like half a second.
Yeah, exactly. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys like the AT-ATs?
Yeah, the AT-ATs were pretty cool. I like the AT-ATs.
They did some shit, man. They were pretty crazy.
They sure did. I wanted to bring up, since we were talking about what's-his-face with the gun, I wanted to talk about Donnie Yen real quick.
Oh yeah, the hentai monster?
No. What?
You don't remember the hentai monster, Tanner?
I do remember it. What does that have to do with Donnie Yen?
the classic Star Wars character, hentai monster.
Anyways.
He steals your memories.
Donnie Yen, the Ip Man, is in this movie.
Yes, sir.
Famous Chinese martial arts actor.
Do you know why he's in this movie?
They think he's cool?
No.
Is it to appeal to China? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yes, sir! That's why.
Okay. That's fine. I think he's a cool character, so I don't really care.
He says, I'm one with the Force is with me.
He says it a whole lot.
Yeah.
I like the idea of there being these like fanatical Force worshippers who aren't technically Force sensitive, you know?
Yeah.
But they can kind of... They can do a little bit of forcing, you know? Not like pushing people around or nothing, but... I bet Donnie Yen is very confused with the state of American media, because there are literally now 2 major American blockbusters that have had him be a character, and he was blind in both of them.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean he was in John Wick 4, where he also plays a blind guy.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty... Like John Wick 4 is like, they have lots of fucking guns going everywhere in there.
They sure do.
How the fuck does a blind man work in that sort of setting?
If you guys ever see it, we can do a review, and then I'll go on a rant about that.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Speaking of which, do we have any more rants to go off of with Rogue One?
So we've mentioned the hentai monster. What is the point of the Ooglet?
To steal your memories.
How does that work, though? Like,
he just fucking wiggles his little tentacles down into your brain stem or some bullshit, and he just like fucking grabs it.
I get, well, like, I don't know. They don't seem to imply that the Ooglet was actually able to like deliver any information to the guys.
They just assume he can do it. He can't actually convey any information back to them.
He's got to keep his job somehow. He's just lying to him.
I don't really get the point of this monster that, like, permanently traumatizes anyone you use it on.
Yeah.
Especially when the guy is like, nah, I will just tell you the truth, guys. We're like, nah, we're gonna have the monster rub you up, sorry.
Yeah.
But we got to see Saw Gerrera again.
We sure did. Saw Gerrera.
Noteworthy Star Wars The Clone Wars character.
Yeah, there we go.
Which one were they?
He's the crazy guy in the red or the blue armor. He was the guy who's like, save the rebellion! Save the dream! Which is a very silly line.
There were so many fucking silly lines in this movie. Like, they felt like they took themselves, like, a little too seriously at times, and, like, the delivery just wasn't fucking there, you know?
Right.
One thing I will say about this movie, though, is it definitely, the overall mood of it is, like, distinctly, like, totally dissimilar from, like, every other Star Wars movie. This one feels better somehow, you know? Like, a lot of Star Wars movie, the acting and shit, it feels, like, very stilted, I guess. And I'm not
it feels
a big
like
fan
they're
of
taking
that.
it more seriously.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we're making a movie.
This time we're getting serious. And sometimes, like, you know, the dialogue just doesn't lend itself well to what they're
Doesn't
trying
quite
to do
match.
here. Yeah. But hey.
The brightest stars have hearts of Kyber.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys feel about the explanation this movie introduces for the existence of the Death Star weak point?
I'm fine with it. It's something I don't think we needed an entire film to explain, but I'm fine with it.
But the fanboys, they can finally be put to rest.
Yeah.
They can finally stop posting their fucking video vlogs where they're like, bro, why would the Empire even do that? If they just put one corner in the tube, you know?
Maybe Luke used the Force, though, to bend the laser, you know? Did they ever consider that?
Did those idiots think about that? Did they re-edit Episode 4 to take out the line where they state that they got the Death Star plans from Bothian spies?
Potentially.
I imagine they probably had to.
They've
They had
made
to
so many
retcon that
fucking
shit.
edits of that movie at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
True. Because the only reason I even remember that is because in Battlefront 2, I believe, there's a unit that you can play as that is a Bothian spy.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
a weird monkey-looking thing that can turn invisible.
He stole the Death Star plans.
Exactly.
It was him, the monkey man.
Yeah, that was canon for a little while, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thought the Death Star eclipse and then them blowing up the city, that looked cool.
Yeah, there are definitely some pretty sweet shots in this film. Like, when we actually see, like, as they're, like, trying to escape that initial Death Star blast, like, all the shit going on there was pretty sweet, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the fucking world, like, turning in on itself.
Yeah. I thought that shit was awesome. I think that's about it for Star Wars, though, guys.
I got a few last things.
Okay.
I thought the last half hour or so, the whole Scarif part was so great and absolutely peak Star Wars. Specifically, this is such a weird small thing that really stood out to me that I really liked was the pilot dialogue was like so perfect to me as like a guy who was a big fan of Rogue One on the N64. It reminded me so much of that. Just all their little lines when like they were getting shot, and it's like, oh, they're on my tail. I'm trying to blah, 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 like that. Just those little things peppered throughout. I was like, yeah. I was literally like getting goosebumps watching the Scarif battle. I was like, man, damn, they made a good Star Wars. That's fucking crazy.
I wish I could live in Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago.
Yeah.
Got by that because I was like, I wonder, like, did all this stuff originate on Earth? And he goes, like, it's in a galaxy far, far away. And I'm like, God damn it, they do say that, don't they?
The classic mistake.
Yeah, and he kept mentioning the futuristic technology, and to remind him, it's a long time ago, though. It's not futuristic.
They should just say, I'm not gonna.
They should just say in the future on Earth.
I find it funny that, I write down K2SO gets the best death of any droid. Like, the most, like, he sacrificed himself for his friend. I can't even think of any droids elsewhere in Star Wars dying, though.
Yeah.
You don't remember R2-D2 valiantly sacrificing himself, taking a bullet for Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, he jumps in front of the laser.
Yeah, he goes, "Woo!"
That'd be amazing. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I
What about
really like
Gonk Droid,
K2SO.
Tanner, and his honorable death?
Yeah, of course, Gonk Droid number 4.
I love Gonk Droids.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of K2SO. He feels like C-3PO, but better in every possible way.
Yeah, literally every way. Wait, doesn't C-3PO die in fucking the last movie?
Nah, he's still alive.
Oh, is he? Okay.
In episode 9, he gets his memory wiped, and then they give it right back.
Oh, okay.
So, you know.
Yeah, I thought I remembered some bullshit about him being like, this will basically kill me. And everyone's like, okay, go for it, man. We don't care.
Do it. We don't know you. But yeah. I thought his death scene was really cool, the way he's just getting slowly beaten down, and he's like, I gotta do the thing, and then he does his big gorilla smash.
Yeah. I gotta say, unfortunately, a lot of this movie, we were a bit distracted watching it. Like I was playing with my cute little kitten. He was being all cute and cuddly that whole time. I was just like, I was able to like cradle him in my arms like a little babe as he was sleeping, and he just didn't mind at all. I was rubbing his little belly. Jax and I were having like discussions talking about a shitty anime that he really likes.
Okay. Well. I guess are we going to get to the rankings?
Yeah, I think so. We've talked about this film far longer than I expected us to. So I'll go ahead and go first here. I think that Rogue One is a pretty solid Star Wars film, okay? But as far as normal films go, I'm going to go ahead and give it... Let's go with a B-.
Fucking capping. Jesus Christ.
Look,
man, that's on the same level as Avatar, okay?
You shithead.
Like,
Fuck you, Nico.
Doesn't it sound like it would be on the same level as Avatar, Tanner?
It's so much better than Avatar, you piece of shit.
It's better than Avatar?
It's significantly better than Avatar.
Oh.
Well, I'll go next and say B+.
This is the best Star Wars movie.
I don't like Star Wars that much.
I don't like Star Wars either, which is why this is an accomplishment. And so I'm giving it S for Star Wars.
Oh, damn.
S for Star Wars.
I can't wait for you to give all the other Star Wars movie an S for Star Wars as well.
No, listen, I can guarantee almost every other Star Wars movie, except for like the original 3, those are going to be dumpster tiers.
Yeah.
And that puts us at a solid A- right there.
There we go, man.